All right, my loves. I want to take a quick minute to talk about something that I think is important. Sloan Bella. She is a psychic I value very much right now. And I heard a video of hers that hit something that I feel I want to share, because I am someone that definitely promotes the idea of spiritual lessons, growth, right? Softening versus strengthening of the soul, being led by a benevolent versus a malevolent spirit, hence why some beings might encounter horrible circumstances when they don't personally do anything to deserve it. That is karma of the spirit, not of the soul. Okay, so there are a variety of different topics that I personally teach about relative to this idea. Here's the idea. And the idea is that we as human beings somehow manifest our death. Now, this is a very touchy topic, right? Because we have a lot of New Agers who focus on, our own manifestation power, the power of our own vision, our own will, our own thoughts, right? Think positive, get positive kind of a concept. But you can't always look at things that way. Sometimes you have to understand that there are other forces, right, who are not necessarily of love and light. And this is not to mean they are negative. They're simply doing their job, right? The Grim Reaper is not evil. The Grim Reaper has a job and is fulfilling a resonance, okay, on God's behalf, right? This is a derivative of God. God has ordained this duty to this being, not evil. But I say that to say this, although we do have manifestation power as human beings, there's also other forces at work, right? For example, when we're talking about things that happen, we're talking about karmic paths. So you can manifest around your karmic path, but you cannot change the karmic path itself. Without, and I repeat, without, right? Because there is work to be done. This is 23 work we're talking about. When you have karmic moments, you hit a fork in the road. You are either going to remain bound to the 32 frequency you are most comfortable repeating, even at a subconscious level, or you are going to intentionally lean into the discomfort, lean in to something that's completely unknown and foreign and feels odd and feels uncomfortable, and lean into opposite action and do the 23 work that's needed to break generational patterns, break your own karmic patterns, and free yourself from certain karmic binds. Now, I say all of that to say this, my loves. Personally, I think that death is an unfortunate requirement of this reality. We all die. And I feel that when we die of less than desirable circumstances, it is simply in alignment with our karmic path. Now, when it comes to like illness and things like that, and that sort of terminal end, I see that as another unfortunate reality of the human experience. We are in feeble, physical, organic form. Even trees get cancer. Okay? So I think there are a multitude of energetic things that could contribute to someone catching that energy. But I don't think it's something we will because we want it. And there are also other metaphysical teachers who will say it's the food we eat, right? It's our emotional state. It's because we're in fear, because we're anxious, because we're worried, right? And I think there's validity to all of that. But then there's always going to be that small percentage of someone that is high vibrational, that eats well, that exercises, that gets it, that never smoked, that gets it, right? So I think that there is a multitude of things. I don't think it's something that in this reality we're ever going to truly understand. I think there are simply certain vulnerabilities in place, and those vulnerabilities emotionally playing with physical vulnerabilities and energetic vulnerabilities, I think, have a lot to do with that. But I've said this before, when it comes to other tragic things, these things are typically well explained with mythology. Believe it or not, right? And other spell work that's floating around this realm of reality, right? We are, the result of, influenced by so many different forms of magic currently at play that it's mind-blowing, right? And you guys have to understand. That's why I like when it comes to prediction work, I'm not even going to tread in those waters. There's too many energies at play, right? But what divination is, it allows you an opportunity to have greater insight into why things happen, what's going on, what frequencies you're dealing with. That's another thing as a numerologist, frequencies, right? Just like if you're an astrologer, transits, planetary aspects, things like that. So, and guess what? These are all various forms of spell work and magic and divine realities that have been mapped and things like that. So when we better understand this sort of secret knowledge, we better navigate this reality. So in summary, if something tragic happens to somebody, it is due to karma of the soul of their own from previous lifetimes, karma of their soul from this lifetime, or karma of the spirit. And when it's karma of the spirit, it's typically researchable in various mythologies from around the world. And I mean that so literally and so specifically. It will literally outline, it will say something like, beautiful young warrior, struck down at tragic hand by accident, or it's going to be some sort of story, or it's going to be a story about a being, a divine being, where the tables were turned, right? So this being did this to someone else, okay? So that's what we're talking about when we talk about karma, the spirit, either written word or reverse roles. Now, as a spiritual proponent of soul lessons, like I said in the beginning of this video, what we're talking about when we talk about gaining lessons in life is in those karmic moments. But if you are someone that is enduring tragedy or being killed or something tragic and karmic like that, the lessons are in the lifetime and in the events surrounding the passing, right? Not your passing itself. There is nothing, there's no true deep lesson learned in being violently harmed. There just isn't, right? But it's how you react to these situations. It's what you learn about the people that surrounded the situation and what kind of naivete you're able to release because of those experiences. That's all.